Gateway here in the ARCA cars, and I'm here because next Friday I'm going to be hosting my 1,000 subscriber special hosted race, January 14th, 7 p.m. Eastern. That'll be 6 p.m. Central, a little bit earlier than it was for my Nashville race, but hopefully that'll be okay. It's going to be a little bit long of a race. It's going to be 100 laps here at Gateway, which is why I want to start a little bit earlier. We're going to have 37 entries. Password is G1000race, all lowercase, all one word. We're going to be in the ARCA cars. We're going to have fixed setup. Cautions are enabled, single file restarts. We're going to have one tire change. I did a 30-lap run and the tires were only down 10%. And that could have been because I wasn't pushing at all. But I think one set of tires is going to have no problem going at least 50 laps. Maybe even all 100, but you can only do about 70 laps on full fuel, and that was without shifting. And there's going to be no fast repairs, same exact format that it was for Nashville Superspeedway. And up to 37 entries. We had 27 for the Nashville race, so we may get up close to 37, but it's not going to be heats, no heats or nothing. Just you get in if you can, race, or qualify, and then race. You're all making it. Whoever gets in the server. Hopefully you all can make it. Whoever can at that time. Open to everybody. You're all invited. Rookie 4.0 and above. So I'm going to go out here and run a lap or two in case people are new to Gateway or new to the car. If you want to practice, the setup is just the Gateway setup, which is a couple seasons old. It feels pretty tight. But it's not bad. iRacing default weather, late afternoon is the time I'm going to choose. What I would do, if you've never raced ARCA before, I would go in here and move the front brake bias all the way to the left, 60%. That will help get the car to turn once the tires start to go away later, because it's going to get a lot tighter. Also set your steering ratio, whatever you want. Those are one of the only two options you're going to have available to you in a fixed setup situation. I use 14:1 steering ratio. The higher you go, the more you have to turn the wheel to get the wheels to turn the same amount. So if you set it higher and you keep your wheel as straight as possible, you can save tires pretty well doing that. So that's what I do. Let's go out here and do a lap or two. I'll get this off. Info will be in the comments. Now, I don't expect this to go caution-free like the Nashville race. That was pretty amazing that happened. So 100 laps will hopefully be okay. If we get a ton of cautions, it might be pretty brutal. But Gateway is a pretty tricky track. Two different corners. You got this long sweeping flat one here in 3 and 4, and then a sharp high banker in 1 and 2. Now I'll show you where I brake in 1 and 2. Right there on the left. Okay, whoops. Ignore that. Ignore that, please. That was my brake pedal wasn't set because I just plugged it in. And it went full brake immediately. But here, I'll show you real quick. So into turn 1, right when you get to this point on your left, that's when I start braking. And I'm not the fastest in the world, definitely. But I think that's a pretty safe braking point if you've never raced here before. Now that my brakes are up, they should be good. I'll show you my braking point into turn 3 as well. You'll notice if you're on track, there's like a dip right here before you get to the banking of the corner. It kind of dips and then goes up into the banking. That's kind of where I brake into turn 3 here. The car does want to step out on you. It's pretty flat. Just be cautious on throttle. Brake right there where the concrete starts to start, and I like to run right above that dark seam just left of my left front tire there. I think that is the fastest. It's a little bit less banking below that, and it gets pretty loose, and if you're on the seam itself, it gets pretty loose. Right there at the dip. Just get the car down to the white line, hold the white line, be easy on the throttle. Don't put too much wheel in it, off the corner, power off, and up to the wall. Nice and safe. Here's a lap. Get it down to that seam. Overdrive it a little bit. Be easy on throttle. Don't use too much of the wheel. Power off onto the back straightaway. Watch this little jut out right here where the wall for the entry into the track kind of comes back. Do the right to the white line. You can run on the rumble strip a little bit, but the car can sometimes get loose down there. Those concrete, you will chip out a little bit in this setup, but that's okay. As the tires wear off, that's gonna be less of an issue. And we're all gonna be on the same setup, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, if you want to practice, it'd be a good idea. It's gonna be 100 laps, so we're gonna be one to take it pretty easy on the start. It's gonna be a long race. I don't want this to be caution filled. So just be easy with each other. Give people room. You don't need to win it in lap 1. Definitely do some practice laps running the high side like there's a car underneath you if you don't have much experience. And definitely do some practice laps like you're got a car on your outside. Like I'll show you here, where you have to kind of exit lower than you normally would, not down to the wall. See, it wants to get loose down there. See, I got a car to my outside. Let's enter turn 1. I'm gonna have to keep it on the bottom, so you're gonna want to brake a little bit earlier than you would with nobody, because you want to get down here to the white line, and the car gets very loose down here. So be careful on throttle. Okay, that's the car to our outside. Let's go to the outside and act like there's a car to our inside here in turn 3. You can brake about the same point. Get all this space. Car wants to get loose, so you're putting more throttle in it. Not bad. Brake a little bit later even if you want. Be right above the second black seam. If you got a car underneath it, is what I would do. Careful with the tires on the seam. They can get loose. And we're actually getting a pretty good run down the back straightaway. I'm on session last. I want to be on session best. Hold on. Okay. The best lap I've done is a 34.7 actually. There, I broke way too late. Definitely, if you don't have a lot of experience in the ARCA cars or this track, definitely practice. Do some practice. Get some smooth running. You can try out different braking points, but definitely in the race, brake earlier. If you got a guy in front of you or a guy on your outside, just make sure you don't overdrive it, especially turn 1. Turn 1's very easy to overdrive. Turn 3, you can kind of recover from it. But turn 1 is so sharp, you can push up into the wall. But I'm not the fastest. Now, one thing people are going to do, or fast guys do, is shift into third in the corners. Now I wouldn't recommend doing it in turn 3 and 4 here, unless the RPM get really down. I've never really shifted in 3 and 4. I will tend to shift in 1 and 2 sometimes, especially as the tires get worn out, but be very, very careful. If you have no experience doing that, or have no experience in this car, I don't recommend trying that, because the car will get very loose. You have to be very careful on throttle, and shifting can be pretty tricky sometimes. That's one thing people will do to get an extra boost out of the corner. It's not that much faster, for me at least, than running just 4th gear around. But we'll see how it ends up. Alright, let's go in and do a green flag pit stop. You have to get on pit road a certain way here. Get it down. Grab your gear. And when you get on pit road here, you have to use this access road. So make sure you get slowed down enough to get down here. You cannot enter the pits out of turn 4. It has to be on the entry to turn 3. Get it here. Down into pit road. Get the yellow cones. That was really slow, but you get the idea. Long pit road here. And be careful. Don't get up in this guardrail and hit that set of stairs that's sticking out in the middle of the road. I would just follow this white line or to the left of it. And then come to your pits box. Get your tires. Get your fuel. You're gonna need a pit stop for fuel. Only 70 laps on fuel.
Alright, that's it. Go.
You coming out here, you gotta use this access road. Be careful, it's sharp. The car's gonna be loose on new tires. Definitely don't try and push it to get an extra 10th coming out of the pits, because if you spin, you're losing laps. Much better to be safe and get on track and get up to speed than it is to push it over the edge. So hopefully this helps you if you want to run with us. Definitely be cool. Open to everybody. As I said, it's going to be 30 minutes of practice and then 5 minutes of qualifying, 2 laps. I'm going to try and not let it be group qualifying again, like it was for Nashville, by mistake. But hopefully it'll be fun. Let me put this up there again. That's all the info. And if it goes even slightly as good as Nashville did, Nashville Super Speedway, then it'll be a very good race, because Nashville was amazing and I enjoyed it immensely. So hopefully you can make it. It'll be fun, and look forward to it.